Hello everyone out there on the internet, I am Jack of all trades, and this video is one of 3 that I am uploading altogether for New Year's. This is my top 10 favourite anime of the year. Don't want this video to be too long, again, for the sake of editing, that I can get all 3 of these out quite quickly. On with the honourable mentions. There were lots of good shows this year that lots of people were talking about, I just didn't have time to watch a lot of them. So, quickly, Odd Taxi, To Your Eternity, Blue Period, there's the new season of Agretzko. I think Banana Fish was this year. Lots of ones that everyone was talking about that I just didn't have the chance to see. So, full disclosure, a lot of those probably would make this list, but I just haven't seen them. Again, special shout out, these 100% would have made my list had I seen them. The final Evangelion Rebuild movie. I haven't seen any of the Rebuild movies yet, so I didn't go to see this, but most likely would have appeared somewhere on this list. And of course, JoJo Stone Ocean. I had wanted to check out, but I haven't had the chance to yet. Thankfully, I think there's only 12 episodes out right now, and the other 12, or the rest of the season, are coming out in 2022. So expect Stone Ocean to be on my 2022 list, because it's JoJo's, there's no way it's not going to be. So when I sat down to make this list, it turns out I did not watch as many anime this year as I thought I did. So at number 10, I'm cheating, and including a show that 100% doesn't count because it didn't come out this year, but I watched it this year. Want to quickly talk about it. Madoka Magica. I knew the twist with Kyubey being in it for their own reasons and sort of lying to them. I knew about the time travel stuff. And even still, this show hits you. Knowing that stuff going in, and I don't care about spoiling it too much because this show is quite old, the animation still holds up. I love the sort of photo bashing collage stuff they use for a lot of the witches. You've heard all the great stuff about this show before. As had I hadn't seen it. I'd been spoiled on a lot of stuff. I sat down, I still had a really good time. Madoka Magica, cheating to put it at number 10, and if you disagree with me including it, then I'll... Genshin Impact, started playing that this year. That's close enough to an anime, right? Number 9, Netflix's The Way of the House Husband. When I first sat down to watch it, I was very disappointed, because it's a really fun concept, but the animation really lets it down, because there isn't really much. It feels a lot more like a motion comic. That said, the jokes are strong enough to carry it, and considering that it is this being sort of more of a gag comic, that sort of works when you know that that's what it's based on and that's what it's doing. It's fun. A lot of the jokes are really fun in this. The police stalking them when they see them trading with baggies of green leaves. Like, oh, there's a drug deal going on. Oh, this place. No, it's just some like basil or something. It's like, I don't know if I grew this in my wee patio garden. No, I thought they're busting in on like a gang meeting or something. It's like, no, it's just my wife's boss's birthday party. It's fun. The one-off cat episodes are great. It's really funny. That's kind of the strongest thing it's got going for it. The animation, there is very, very little, but it's funny. I really enjoyed it. That's why it's just at number 9. Number 8, Star Wars Visions. Check this out on Disney+. Each episode, it's an anthology. They're all based on, inspired by, set in the Star Wars universe. Canonicity, who cares? They just gave these anime creators and studios pretty much free license to do whatever they wanted with the Star Wars IP here. It's really good. Hi, I'm me. I'm a major Trigger stan, so Trigger's episode, The Twins, is great. It's so balls to the wall Trigger. I love it. I don't remember a lot of the episode names, but the first sort of Kurosawa-inspired samurai episode was really good, and he's got a red lightsaber as well. Oh my gosh, he's a Sith. He's like a Ronin. A lot of these episodes are really good. The Kyber Crystal, the one of like the guy making the lightsabers that are different colors depending on who holds them and everything like that. That's really fun. I know a lot of people sort of ponders like, okay, how everyone seems to like that episode and wants it to be canon. So people say, oh, this can be centuries before any of the movies or anything, or it can be in the distant future. People really liked that one. It was a fun anthology show. Again, the different animation styles. Tatooine Rhapsody, I think. It's just really fun. I watched both the dub and the sub. I watched the sub first, and then went back to the dub just to hear it. And Alison Brie, Neil Patrick Harris, they got a bunch of big name actors in to voice this stuff, which is really fun. And I hope that this show, I mean, it's good fun for Star Wars fans, it's good fun for anime fans, but hopefully it'll help rope some more people into the anime fandom when they see, okay, it's this sort of stuff. It's not all, for children. It's not all hentai. It's there's more to it, But it was Star Wars Visions, really good show. At number 7, Shadow's House. This was recommended by a friend. I wasn't quite getting into it when they were describing it to me, but then sitting down and watching it, Shadow's House is really good. It's Cloverworks. It's not quite Promised Neverland Season 1 level, but it's good. It's similar. It's got similar vibes to it. The sort of mansion and the children that are here to be dolls, and sort of the sinister overtone and undertone and sinister feel to everything that's going on with the shadows and grandfather and everything that's going on with him, with the people on the 3rd floor. Really enjoyed it. Ultimately, I think my only complaints with this show is at times the pacing feels a little wonky, especially during the debut arc. The sort of maze bit felt a bit weird. Okay, you're dragging that out. Okay, sort of rushed over that. The pacing of that bit felt a wee bit wonky. But other than that, it was really good, and I do think that there should have been, without spoiling anything, there should have been more consequences for the villain at the end. I mean, it's good to have them sticking around and doing what they're doing, but I think to establish a greater threat, something more should have happened there. Other than that, animation was really good, story is really good, and I'm really looking forward to Season 2, which is on the way. I want to know what's going on in the Shadow's House. Number 6, My Hero Academia Season 5. Haven't finished it yet, but the 1A versus 1B arc I really enjoyed. I don't get why so many people don't like it. I think it might just be manga readers, maybe reading the arc in sequential images format isn't the best way to consume it, but watching it, animation at some points was absolutely phenomenal. Again, link in the corner, check out my playlist of my reactions to this season. The Endeavor arc was cool, felt like we lingered on it a bit too long, and then now we're on to the My Villain Academia stuff, and I know people have said that because they shuffled the order of things just that everyone had seen the Endeavor arc by the time the movie came out. Decisions like that are really stupid and kind of piss me off, but until I have finished this season and read the manga, I can't say for sure my thoughts on that. But so far, this season has been really good. Not MHA's best, but pretty dang strong. Number 5, my only anime movie on this list. Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Mugen Train. Went to the cinemas for this. Saw it in the dub, to clarify. Was there with a few of my mates to see it who hadn't seen the original show, but had heard good things, just came along to see the movie, and I'm pretty sure some of them have checked out the show now. This was really good. The CG was a little bit spotty at times. The Demon Slayer show is really good for this in their use of CG sort of sparingly, or doing it in a stylized way so it looks like 2D and everything. The CG in the show is really well integrated. And in this, same. Apart from some stuff they do with the train at the end. So the glob-like molten flesh stuff they do with the final boss demon and everything. Some of that doesn't quite work. It still looks really out of place. But the animation is great. I do wish that... No, that's spoilers. Can't say that. It's really good. And apparently... I don't know, but for Season 2, they reanimate some of the stuff and sort of they break down this movie into a few episodes, I think. I haven't seen Season 2 yet, hence why it's not on this list, but the movie is. Movie was great, and I'm looking forward to checking out Season 2 as soon as I have the time to do so. Number 4, over on Netflix, Beastars. Addressing the Elephant in the Room. I was disappointed that the new intro isn't stop motion as well. But it's a really good song, and the animation they do have for it fits really well. And the outro is great as well. Rui and Ibuki and the Shishigumi, that whole arc story. I wish we had more of that. I wish we had another 5 episodes this season or so, just to have more time with that story. And then that would also mean sort of one of my biggest downsides of the season is Haru. very much becomes sort of a tertiary character, despite being one of our leads in season 1. We could have got more time with her if this just had more episodes. I think, again, my only complaint with this is I wanted more, which, if anything, is praise. I wanted more. But it finally addresses the sort of inciting incident of the show, which I'm glad, because I know that was sort of kind of a big complaint of season 1, was like, hey, remember how someone was eaten alive in episode 1 and we never really addressed that? Okay, cool. We find out who did it. We go through all that. That was spoilers. Shouldn't have said that. I'll edit it out. Yeah. Really good. If you enjoyed Beastar Season 1, you probably have already checked this out. If you haven't, go on. Season 2 is really good. Possibly better than Season 1. I wish I had more Haru, but possibly better than Season 1. Number 3, Komi Can't Communicate. I've read some of the manga online, and then, all the memes and everything that came from it. But once it was announced that the anime was on the way, I sort of stopped reading. Okay, let's wait and see it animated. I think I'm probably going to pick up the manga again and just keep reading. But at the moment, it's similar to the Way of the House Husband in that it's sort of a gag comic type thing. I mean, it is still definitely a manga, but it's each episode of the anime, for example, is split into, okay, here's this story, here's this story, here's this. You get a bunch of small moments in the overarching thing, but the jokes are great. The animation is so good. This is a show where if this got the Way of the House Husband treatment, I'd say don't watch it. Just read the manga, because it would work better just in that medium. But because they went so above and beyond with all of the animation here, it's not Nichijou level, but it's not too far off. I mean, it doesn't have some of those Sakuga moments, but it's pretty on par with Nichijou for the rest of the timing and everything. I do wish the Netflix translated the text that they throw up on screen. That's sort of the big downside of Netflix. I mean, there are fan dubs of this show that you can watch in less than legal ways that are better subs, because they translate the text on screen. That's kind of essential. Komi Can't Communicate. Great. Number 3. Great show. Now number 2. Fuck you, I'm including the Promised Neverland manga. The Promised Neverland Season 2 was such a disappointment. You can check out my reactions to it. And having read the manga now and having had time to sit on the anime, I realized just how shit it is. When I was watching it, I think I was kind of in denial. And the first episode, 2-3 episodes maybe, are pretty close to the source material. They trim out the bits that you could trim out, and no love lost there. But then, once they get to the bunker, I was really on edge for that episode. Because I'm like, okay, I know what's going on here. Waiting for the penny to drop. Waiting for the penny to drop. Come on. Any moment now. There's a noise. Okay, what's gonna happen? Oh, okay. Sorry, what? What's happening here? You went from the farm, from season 1, which was phenomenal, through the forest, Magica and Sonju, got to the bunker, and you're skipping the entire Goldie Pond arc to the Ratri raid, which is now so much less effective for the characters you didn't include. That should have been a major red flag for me. But watching it, I was like, no, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see how it ends. We'll see what they're doing. Who knows? Withholding judgment till we've had the whole package, till we've heard the whole story. The characters that reunite, those moments have so much less impact because they cut out so much stuff and they change the circumstances the characters have been through. They cut out some of the best characters, whose names I'm not going to say because some of the names themselves are spoilers. But okay, it was cool seeing specific Zazie and some of the other characters in animation. Vyulk, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Yay, the one good thing that this season introduced. An anime-only character who I really like. He's debatably in the manga, but making him a character here, he was really good. Him and his granddaughter, and it was sweet in the moment. But again, having had time to stew on it, that moment and reveal, that's just Batman v Superman. The big character motivation changing moment. This like pivotal instance, which in the manga is the climax of this whole thing. Comes down to Batman v Superman. Martha. You have to save Martha. Why did you say that name? It comes down to that. To these two characters happen to have the same name. Which can be done well, but there's ways you could make that work, but this was not it. This is number 2 on my 10 favorite anime of the year, and I'm just ragging on how shit this anime was. Because in this slot, fuck you, it's my list, this is my video, I can do what I want. Number 2 favorite anime of the year is the Promised Neverland manga. Because the English release of the final volume came out in 2021, so it's a 2021 release as far as I'm concerned. When I was watching it, I hadn't finished reading it yet, so I'd said, okay, once it got to the end, and it was a PowerPoint presentation, they showed a dragon and a cyclops floating demon baby thing in a void of water, and all this stuff with absolutely no context was on screen for like 3 seconds. The entire backstory of the world was shown with literally faceless characters for a still image. Sorry, it was so bad. But the manga is so good. The manga was so prescient as well. Like, there's a moment when characters are talking about... You know what? Because I'm assuming you've seen season 1, so you have enough context for this. There's a moment where characters are talking about the human world. And the panels on screen, on the page, when they're talking about the human world, and how maybe it's not all you think it is. Maybe there's some darkness to it. Maybe it's not as good as you're hoping. And it's talking about police brutality, violent protests, the coronavirus. I was... What? I wasn't expecting any of that. And then when sort of we do get more information on the human world and everything, it is... There's so much, and the ending... The ending was so good that the anime becomes so much worse because the manga is so good. I heard some people don't like the manga's ending, actually. I think I heard on like Rank Cafe, again Noxtaku, Animac and Briggs and sort of people didn't like the actual ending of the Promised Neverland manga, but I really did. The Promised Neverland manga is so good. My recommendation is watch the Promised Neverland Season 1 and then jump into the manga at that point and just read it. Because Season 2 is so bad that I'd recommend watch Season 1, read the manga, and then maybe go back to watch Season 2 to see how far off the mark it is. But read the Promised Neverland manga. It's my number 2 favorite anime of the year. It's just so good. And the anime did such a disservice to it. Please, 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 above any of the other shows, even above my number 1 of this year, please read the Promised Neverland manga. It is so much better than anything Season 2 did. It is so much better than everything else on this list. That's why I've got it at number 2. Please read the Promised Neverland manga. I feel like that's my note here. I'm just going to keep repeating that. So, on with number 1. Number 1, the best anime of the year. Of course, it's Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan, the final season, part 1. Also made my list last year, and I didn't put it at number 1 because I would feel bad because it was only like 3 episodes in. But now, having had the full run of episodes for final season part 1, yeah, it was the best anime this year. It was so good. It was so good. At time of recording, there's less than 2 weeks until the final season part 2 premieres, and I've avoided trailers, I've avoided manga spoilers, other than, again, some people were disappointed with the actual ending. And there was like a subsequent follow-up, like bonus chapter ending that made it a little better. But still, we'll have to wait and see for that. But this season itself, everything with Reiner was so good. Eren is such a big question mark right now that, you know, my 2 favorite characters in the show are Hanji and Bertolt. And spoilers for Attack on Titan Season 1, 2, 3, and 3 Part 2. And Bertolt was a great character who I wish we got more of, but he was the most powerful character. That paradigm has significantly shifted. And the time skip, the new animation studio, at times bothers me. The CG Titans could be better. But for what they are, I'm fine with it. Again, sort of the rotoscoping with Yudo, and when they get back and it's Gabby and they're talking around the table and everything. Oh, they're keeping the kids out of the forest. There are so many great moments in this season. The reveal of Zeke's plan. I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the end of this show. Because it's been so good. Like, Season 1, you can go back to. And if I have time, I want to do a video sort of talking about the whole series so far. But you can go back to Season 1, and it's like, yeah, Season 1 is kind of weak at points. It was really hype in the moments, but now when you go back, it's okay, this bit's sort of dragged out, this bit's slow, this bit could be better. But knowing what it's all building towards, and the individual little moments, little character interactions throughout those early seasons that have such big payoffs at these later moments, it's such a well-constructed story. Hajime Isayama just gets a massive round of applause from me for writing this manga. And the team at WIT, the team at MAPPA now, everyone involved. Attack on Titan have been an amazing trip. I'm still wearing the basement key every day. Attack on Titan, once again, it's my favorite anime at the moment. It's possibly my favorite anime of all time. No, it is my favorite anime of all time, actually. But this season, favorite anime of the year, best anime of the year, best anime of 2021, Attack on Titan. It's so good. Right, well, again, this is one of 3 videos that I'm releasing, hopefully back to back. The others being the 10 favorite cartoons of the year, this one, the 10 favorite anime of the year, and the 10 favorite movies of the year. So if you want to check out my thoughts on movies or cartoons and animated shows from this year that aren't anime, click the links on screen to go check those out, and hopefully see you there. Until next time, Happy New Year. I've been Jack of all Trades. Bye.